Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a basic anatomy of an HTML document. All website contains HTML documents. I've got displayed here a basic HTML document, and I'm going to walk you through line by line and describe what the elements do. Line number 1, we've got the doctype HTML. The doctype is not actually part of the HTML tag. What the doctype is a declaration or an instruction that tells the web browser about the markup language in which the current page is being written. So the doctype is basically a document type declaration, and inside the doctype we've got HTML, which basically means the type of document you are informing the browser about is an HTML document. The actual HTML content begins from line number 2 to line number 16. Line number 2 is the opening HTML tag, and inside that opening tag we've got an attribute called lang. This is used to specify the type of language used to create the document, and you can see the value here is EN, which means English. Line number 3 to line number 8 consists of the head element. The head element is a container for metadata. Metadata is basically data about data, and this is usually placed between the HTML tag and the body tag. The body tag, which is from line number 9 to line number 15, is the actual content that is visible to the visitor of the web page. Line number 3 and 4, we've got meta tags. Meta tags provide metadata about the HTML document. The actual metadata does not get displayed on the web page, but the machine or the web browser uses the information it contains. Line number 4 here, we've got the meta tag, and inside that meta tag we've got an attribute called charset. This basically specifies the character encoding for the HTML document, and the value here is being set to UTF-8. UTF-8 is the standard encoding used on the internet. Most character contains within that UTF-8. On line number 5, we've got another meta tag. Inside that meta tag, we've got an attribute called name. The name attribute specifies a name for the metadata, and the value I've set here is viewport. A viewport basically is an element that gives the web browser instructions on how to control the page's dimensions and the scaling. And then we've got content, which is another attribute, and I've set that to equals to width equals device dash width. And what this part does, it basically sets the width of the page to follow the screen width of the device. So this will vary depending on the device that is viewing the web page. Also on this part here on line number 5, we've got the initial dash scale is set to 1. So what this does, it will set the initial zoom level, the level at which you can zoom when the page is first loaded by the web browser. So I've set that is set to initial value of 1. And then you've got this other part here which says shrink to fit. So you've got an option. If you want to shrink to fit the device, you can say yes. If you don't want to shrink to fit, you specify a value of no. On line number 6, I've got a link tag. Inside the link tag, I've got a rel attribute. The rel attribute is used to specify the source of the style sheet or the CSS that you are using to style the page. And so if you're using a style sheet, you specify a style sheet, and then you specify the link or where that style sheet is going to be referenced from. And you use the href attribute to specify the location of the CSS you want to link to. So in this case, I'm linking to a CSS file called bootstrap.min.css, and this is located in a folder called BS, and this folder is in the same directory as this HTML document. On line number 7, you use the title tag to give your document a title. So this is a title that will appear on the top of the document when the document is loaded. And line number 8 here is where the head part of the document ends. And then line number 9 to line number 15 contains the body tag. So the content within the body tag is what is being displayed to the visitors of the web page. So at the moment on line number 10, I've got an H1 element. H1 element is basically used to specify a heading for a particular text. So here I've got a text here that just says hello world. That's the opening H1 element, and that's the closing H1 element. H1 is usually the highest title size, so it goes from H1 to H6. Line number 12 to 14, I've got some script tags. So if you want to attach JavaScript or link to JavaScript in your document, HTML document, you have to use a script tag. And inside the script tag, you have to add the SRC attribute. SRC basically means the source. So you need to specify where to link to that particular JavaScript file. So you can see here, line number 12, 13, and 14, I'm linking to various JavaScript files in this directory called BS. And line number 15 is where the body tag ends. Line 16 is where the HTML document ends. So these are just some basic elements, but normally in a production environment, you have a lot more inside the body element, because that's where the content to be displayed to the viewer is created. So this is the HTML document. So you can see it just contains the text that says hello world. So if I open the document here, inside the body tag, we've only got this text that says hello world. That's what is being displayed for the visitors to see. And you can see the title here being displayed. It says Bootstrap for Beginners. And that title here is set on line number 7. If you want to see the HTML that was used to build a particular page, just by right-clicking inside the page and click on View Page Source, and that will give you the code. You can see here it's exposed the code that was used to create that web page. And if I go into my document, you can see here, this is the text editor. You can see the code is identical to what I used inside the document to create that page. In this video, I gave you a very basic walkthrough of a basic HTML document. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.